Hey everybody, it's Adam with the Game Machine. You're wondering why am I flying around pretending to be an airplane like a friggin' idiot? Well, that's because I got a game here, Talespin on the Sega Genesis. We're going to review it today here on the Game Machine. Now growing up, I loved these Disney cartoons. You had Aladdin, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, and Talespin. So we're going to take a look at the Sega Genesis version of this game, and we're going to talk about whether or not it's a high-flying adventure full of fun and fantastical whimsy, or if it's a plane crash waiting to happen and everybody burns to death and dies. Or it could be just a bad video game. Either way, find out in this episode of the Game Machine. It starts now! The story starts out with the city trying to find someone to deliver cargo. Of course, like any legit branch of government, they find the most dumbest and stupidest way of doing this possible. Instead of bidding for contracts like most companies do, they decide to hold a competition. Who can get the most crates delivered? Or something. Shere Khan, who is the animal spirit of Donald Trump, has a head start. Baloo and the gang at Hire for Hire are informed by some jackass about this. No, really, the guy is a jackass. And he's also a city official, so it's like he's a jackass who's probably a jackass who probably works for some bigger jackass. Wow, I didn't realize how deep this game was with so much social commentary. Who says PSAs are dead? Well, Mr. Jackass tells the crew that they can compete, but Shere Trump has a strong lead. So it's up to Baloo and Kit Cloudkicker to collect 10 crates full of stuff and take it to wherever the city wants it to, and the winner gets a big fat job contract. Yay, I guess? Uh-oh, and what's that? That no-good nasty air pirate Don Carnage wants to mess things up because he just really hates Baloo? I mean, yeah, he really hates his guts. He wants to see him dead. He wants to turn him into a rug so he can wipe his ass with his face. And, oh, sorry, forgot this is a kid-friendly review. I mean, not his ass, but his butt. I said butt. Yeah, that's really funny. I should write that down. That's really it for the plot. It doesn't really go anywhere, but really it's a platformer. I will say that the story cutscenes in the beginning are animated very weirdly. It's like every other 3 seconds or so, it's really crappy flipbook animation that was made into a mediocre GIF that you see on some jackass's Twitter page. Oh wait, jackass. The jackass made this. Should have known. You can never trust any jackass in a suit. The presentation in Talespin isn't a plane crash, but it does make you wonder how it got past all those FFA inspections. Graphically, the characters from the show, Baloo, Kit, and enemy characters faithfully represent their cartoon counterparts, but the death animations are just so ugly. Like when they die, they just jump up across the screen, splat themselves like a fly hitting the windshield, and slowly slide down, leaving a streak what looks like a booger trail across the screen. It's really gross. I don't think at any point in the show's span that I've watched growing up, I remember them breaking the fourth wall like that and just having them slide down the screen and boogers all over the place. I guess it was supposed to be funny, but in order for it to be funny, it would have to not suck. Stages are varied, kind of. You have some different colored variations on a few stages, so there's some materials that almost look recycled, though kind of similar, but a little different. They do a few things here and there to tweak it. You got 2 temple stages, you got a few city stages. Really, there's not much variety here. But the stages where you take to the skies don't look too bad, and honestly, I love the use of scrolling here. Can't say that compared to graphics of other games at the time, it really isn't that great. It's a little depressing. It's not horrible, but it definitely could have been a lot better. The audio presentation is even weak. The best way to describe the audio is if you're stuck on a long flight and you have to watch the in-flight movie, but it's cars on loop for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. Over time, you start to hallucinate and imagine that Larry the Cable Guy is a tow truck, sitting next to you, keep telling you that you need to pull his fender. Come on, pull my fender, pull my fender, pull my fender. But then you know better. As you know, he'll just gas you in the face with his tailpipe, but he won't hush till you do it. And then madness sets in, and then you start going crazy. Alright, maybe it's not that bad, but it's not very good either. Sound effects can be either bland or ear-splitting, and some of the music just repeats through some stages. It's like they couldn't come up with music for each individual stage. They had to recycle some of it, and it's really disappointing. The only song I liked was the boss music, which was kinda catchy. But how about the gameplay, you ask? Is the gameplay fun at least? Please say it's kind of fun, please. Well, little buddy, I hate to tell you, but I think this game's worse than Wildcat's body odor. I mean, seriously, have you seen that cat get any calls? Poor guy. He can figure out the complexity of a plane engine, but yet can't figure out the simplicity of soap. Talespin is one part mediocre platformer and one other part okay shooter. As mentioned earlier, you can play this game as either Big Papa Bear Baloo or that orphan kid Cloud Kicker. Let's talk about the best part of the game up front, the shooter section. They can be fun at times, also a little frustrating. You fly in your plane and you get power-ups, and you can use them to defeat your enemy planes, to fix your plane, and so on. But it's very hard to dodge objects because you're this gigantic plane, everything else is small, and there's like 100 things on the screen going on at once, so it makes it almost incredibly hard to dodge. You can dodge some things, but you are going to end up getting hit. I was unable to get to the part where you can play as Kit, because he will fly on the back and actually shoot while Blue pilots the plane, but I got so frustrated. And this comes to the platforming section of the gameplay. Enemies have this weird wonky hit detection type thing. Also, maybe a little bit of super armor. Yes, I'm not kidding. So, Baloo and Kit all have projectile weapons. Kit has a slingshot, Blue has a paddle ball because, yeah, why not? And they would be okay weapons, like I mentioned before, if it wasn't for that hit detection I mentioned. Some enemies, you could keep throwing balls in their face and it won't even faze them. I just realized how terrible that sounded. I mean, it would make sense if the enemies had some type of defense animation so you could tell, like, oh, okay, I can't hit him right now, he's defending. But no, you have no way of knowing. They don't tell you, and it makes it frustrating, especially for some enemies, and even bosses do this. Your characters are easy targets for stage hazards and enemies who love to get into spots where you have no time to react. It's just really poor design. Also, the platforming is kind of mediocre. It's a little slippery at times, and sometimes it's hard to get on the platforms. And you have to go through each stage and collect 10 crates in random places. Honestly, it feels pretty dull. Though there can be some challenge in trying to get some of the crates in tougher spots, but there's so many crates that you won't need to go out of your way to find them all. You just need 10. Like the hazards that I mentioned before, for example, in this water temple, there's a puddle of water that crabs that get very annoying jump all over and have no problems. Blue jumps in that water and he starts taking damage like he's being poisoned. And while you're being poisoned, those crabs are coming after you and pinching you and pinching you and pinching you. Seriously, Blue, you really need to get that crab problem checked out. I'd see a doctor about that. Oof. Talespin on the Sega Genesis tries to capture the spirit of the skies in video game form, but takes a nosedive. The show honestly deserves a lot better. Now, I've never played the NES game, but in the future, I would like to give it a shot and see if it's much better in a future review. If you find this video review in a little black recorder box somewhere, please, unless you really want to collect retro Disney games, I say stay clear of it. There may be someone out there who may get some enjoyment out of this kind of game, but I'm starting to see why I haven't seen any video reviews or hardly anyone talk about this game online. So, with that said, Ace Pilots, I'm flying out. And until the next episode of The Game Machine, thank you all for watching, and game on. Hey guys, Thank you for watching the Talespin review. So, I didn't really find the game that great, but if you did play it and you enjoyed it, or you didn't enjoy it, let us know below. Tell me, like, hey, did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think I'm a big pile of bear duty because I didn't like it? That's fine too, whatever. Got future reviews coming up. We got Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Whenever that embargo lifts, we're going to be cha-cha-chawing and telling you whether or not it's worth shaking your groove thing for. But you can also check out my other video reviews and stuff here. So go ahead and click it, take a watch, subscribe, like, share with your friends if you enjoy it. Let people know about me. Please, somebody, pay attention to me. I'm a very lonely man.